What's up guys, Ronnie here with Dudes Reviews. Today we are doing our full review of the Onean Carver electric surfboard. If you haven't checked out our unboxing and assembly video, click the link below. Overall, we had a ton of fun with the Carver. It was relatively easy to learn, and once we got everything figured out, it ran really well. We had several people of all different body types and skill levels try it out, and everyone was at least able to stand and ride for just a little bit. The Onean Carver is a great solution for those looking for the wakeboarding experience without having to invest in a boat. Or in our case, there is a quarry lake that does not allow gas-powered motorcrafts, and the Carver worked great in this situation. Of course, with anything, there are some drawbacks that may prevent you from owning one. The first being that the Carver is very expensive, especially if you need to have it shipped. The board itself is €4,130 and tack on another $750 for shipping and handling. It took us 18 months from the time we ordered the board to the time we received our shipping confirmation. Several times a delivery date was promised, then pushed back for one reason or another. While I understand Onean is not a big company and they are manufacturing a technical piece of equipment, their communication to their customers was extremely poor. They would go without answering any emails about our order, and it wasn't until we told them that we were going to cancel our order that they began to reply. Now let's get into the Carver components and accessories. The Carver board itself feels very well made. There are no noticeable seams and everything looks extremely polished. The rear presentation of the board is similar to a jet ski. The metal housing acts as a nozzle for the impeller. The nozzle connects to a plastic intake grate, which directs the flow of water and also helps protect the drive shaft. The drive shaft travels through the board and connects to the internal electric motor. The controller of the Carver is a pressure switch attached to an LED display that connects to the board via Bluetooth. The display shows board charge level, throttle power, sync indicator, and battery indicator for the controller. The Carver did not come with any kind of body mounting hardware, so we had to find our own solution. We found a Velcro strap that fit the controller well enough. A link to the one used will be included on the blog post. Out of the box, we had sync issues with the controller. It wouldn't work unless it was inches away from the antenna. The whole first day we could not stand and ride because the controller would not maintain connection to the board. After finding a manual online, we were able to run a pairing mode on the controller, which fixed our issue. This actually became a reoccurring problem, and we had to resync the board several times, usually after recharging the battery. While this isn't the worst problem in the world, it was still a bummer any time we ran into it. The design of the controller really wasn't the best for modulating speed either. The pressure switch does not lend itself well to subtle pressures. We ended up changing the mode to just two settings, 0 and 100% with nothing in between. The foot straps of the board are really best suited for riders 150 pounds and below. I'm about 185 pounds and the straps are positioned too far to the rear of the board that I was not able to completely plane out. I abandoned using the straps and adjusted my stance towards the front of the board in order to get maximum performance. The design of the Onean battery is really well thought out. The locking mechanism is strong and secure while riding. A couple of times we took some hard falls that actually flipped the board, but the battery remained in place and the compartment dry. The battery also has its own charge meter display, which is a nice feature and comes in handy when you're just wanting to check the battery while it's not connected to the board. We found that off a full charge we were getting roughly 20 minutes of runtime. This is a slight drawback, but it is expected considering the power output needed to propel the board and the rider through the water. You can purchase extra batteries from Onean, but they are quite expensive at €1,650, and they are currently on a 2-week lead time before shipping. Another issue that we had was that the battery will not charge directly after use because it needs to cool down before the charger will even recognize it. It was not explicitly said in the documentation of the board, leading us to believe that there was something wrong with either the battery or the charger. While we understand that this makes sense from a safety standpoint, it was a huge bummer to wait 30 to 40 extra minutes just for the battery to cool before we could start charging it. In our testing, it took a little over 2 hours to charge from fully drained. So realistically, you are really only looking at 1 to 2 full rides per day unless you want to purchase more batteries. In the end, it's really the ride that matters the most. In this category, we could definitely give the Carver a 10 out of 10. Once everything was figured out, we had a blast riding this thing. Riding the Carver is really like nothing else out there. The freedom to ride around untethered is something truly special, and in that experience, the Carver excels. While I'm happy that we finally received the board, the two questions that I always ask myself are, is it worth it and would you do it again? These are tough to think about with the Carver because there's so much good and so much that bummed us out. In hindsight, with all the hoops we had to jump through and because of the lack of customer service, if I were to do it again, knowing what I know now, I would say just wait for the offerings that there are in the future. New boards will be hitting the market soon, as well as revisions to the current Onean products that will be faster and have more of the issues worked out. That being said, I'm definitely keeping the Carver and will be using it every chance that I get. This is Ronnie with Dudes Reviews. We'll see you next time. Hey guys, thanks for watching. Let us know what you think, or if you want us to check out any other great products, drop a comment below. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button. If you want to see more kick-ass reviews, hit that subscribe button. If you want to check out some of our other videos, click the links to the right. Again, this is Ronnie with Dudes Reviews. We'll see you next time.